So we finished our hike up Ghost Mountain, Marshal South Homestead, Desert Dreamer. Watch my other video if you want. We talk about the whole trail up to the top. Now we're headed this way, out to the Morteros. Look at these Mojave yucca. Beautiful. Wow. Little California juniper there. So we're gonna head out here to the Morteros and hopefully the Indian pictographs, big long stalks, have lunch out there. So the little Marshal South home up here, it's a real easy trail. It's pretty interesting. It's really not that hard to get to. You just drive to the trailhead and walk up a mile. This path here I think is pretty easy. Got beautiful junipers, choyas, Mormon tea, a juniper here. Creosote. And this guy's called cliff buckwheat, Eriogonum parvifolia. He's related to California buckwheat, which is Eriogonum fasciculatum. He's still got those fascicles of bundles of leaves that come up the stem. Right. To the Morteros and pictographs up this road. You can drive it to the trailhead if you want. We're walking it today because it's such a beautiful day. Look at this. This is April 3rd, I think. You got these just gorgeous, gorgeous desert scrubs. These guys here, looks like they camped here overnight. So you can camp for free anywhere you want. Just make sure you stay just a tiny bit off the road. Here's a little Facilia. Right here a little bit. Take a look at this little guy. How about that? That's a little chicory right there. See the end of his petals or his florets? A little bit notched. Kind of breezy. He's pretty cool. Little chicory we have up here. They're always all alone. Wow, look at these Mojave yuccas. So I'll show you what they look like inside when the head falls off, because they're kind of interesting. They're not like trees, right? Look at that. See that? So this whole vascular system is intertwined with a bunch of fibers. So this xylem and the phloem, it all intermingles around there. So you can't really tell how old these guys are because they don't have rings like a tree. See that? And they're all fibers down there. See all those fibers down there? Here's a little Mojave yucca that's branching out like our Joshua trees, like they do. There's no Joshua trees in this park though. You got to go up to Joshua Tree National Forest and farther up to Utah. Check out our Joshua trees. But we do have Nakatillo here. A bunch of sticks coming up. Fukiaria splendens. And it's been raining a lot, of course, so as I mentioned before, my other videos, we got beautiful green leaves here coming in. See that? With big thorns. Look at those gnarly thorns on this big old stick. Wow. So you can take these apart, you line them up, you can make a fence. Keep the critters out. A thorny fence. There we go. A little creosote. Alright. Lots of choyas. Here's our little buckwheat out in the desert. These are Eriogonum species. See that? Over here, look at this guy. We got a desert agave. He's blooming. We have a lot of stalks coming up. Dead stalks from last year and new stalks from this year. But not a lot of blooming guys. Look at that. Beautiful yellow flowers.
Pretty one, honey. Look at that.
Lots of beautiful, beautiful bees there.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, we have a bunch of little chias here. Little salvia plant. He's a sage, but you'd never know he's a sage. And he has this little rosette. He comes out with this purple stem here. And he starts out with a little green whorl of flowers. Look at that. Right, but they're a little violet, bluish color. This guy's got two little stalks. He kind of looks like a black sage, right, with the bubble, the whorl, and a whorl. He starts out green, he turns purple, and inside each little tiny flower, at the base here, we're going to find 4 or 5 little seeds. And those are the little seeds our Native American friends love to grind up in the morteros. I'll show you the morteros just around the corner over here. Up here, right? More desert mistletoe, Rhododendron californica, or californicum. Look at that. Berries coming in, all that sappy, juicy stuff that sticks over, right? Over the plants, spread around our beautiful forest. Look at this juniper. Juniper's californica. Just mangly, beautiful, beautiful trunk and bark. It's great. He's got little berries on him. See that? Little juniper berries. You make gin out of that. Little cocktail for later on today. So we're headed up here to the morteros, but I understand there's a little surprise over here, right between that cholla there and that creosote. Holy moly! It's a golf ball.
Gary!
Gary! I got your golf ball. He's a Strata Super Range BMW of Riverside. You know, no matter where I go, in all the deserts and the travels, I always find golf balls. So I'm going to give this one to my friend Gary. If he watches my video and asks for it. Hey, looks like a little cheese bush here. No, he's a Mormon tea. See that? He looks kind of cheesy. Mormon tea here. So way up the trail, see, it's pretty easy to drive, but take a look at this. You can camp all the way up here by the morteros and the trails. So instead of camping down in Blair Valley with everybody else along the rocks, you just come up here, just park kind of in a designated area or anywhere that's one vehicle length off the road. But you can't go deep inside because you thrash everything. And no fires can touch the ground, right? You have a fire ring. Eagleman's hedgehog, right over here. Check them out, these guys are beautiful. Wow, that's about a mile walk. Creosotes, little turnaround on our trail. And I can see what this little sign here is all about. And I believe this is where we're going to find our morteros up here behind the hillside. There we go. Welcome. You're in a sensitive archaeological area that holds special meaning for the descendants of the people who lived here in times past. How about that? It's a little morteros memories, right? Mortero little holes in the rocks here, little circles. And that's where you would kind of grind up all your grains, right? So you can kind of make your food. This is a jojoba. We have little cheat sheets here, a little cheat sheet here, or here. So we'll have to kind of do it by braille, by memory. We're going to head up here, have lunch in the morteros, like our Native American friends did, really not so long ago. So a lot of these plants and shrubs, they're essential for helping the Native Americans stay alive out here. And we have little markers here. I don't have my cheat sheet, so I'm going to have to kind of make this up here a little bit. Number one, here we have a cholla, but this is our Mojave yucca, Yucca shadidra. See that? So a couple things here. You could eat the flowers, and here the blades are the leaves. They're very fibrous. You peel the fibers off, like here, right? You kind of twist them into a rope, make a rope. It's called a Spanish dagger, big long spear right there, almost like a weapon too. So that's our Mojave yucca.
Unless it is a silver cholla here.
But it might be the silver cholla. I'm not sure what you do with this for surviving out here. Here's our creosote bush. He's the panacean of all medicine needs and illnesses you have out here. So you can make a tea, you can grind up the barks. The thing is said to cure anything that penicillin cures today. He's a Laria tridentata. He's got little trident leaves at the tip. And this guy is the gobernadora, the most prominent species out here in the Mojave, Sonora, and Colorado deserts, all the way from San Bernardino out to Yuma, up to Mesquite, Las Vegas, El Centro. Anyway, all over the place. All right, hello. Let's see, who else we could find? It's an Acatillo, right? Fuchsiarian splendens. And you make a little fence out of him, right? You can take these long sticks and you line them all up and you make a fence to keep the riffraff out. Up here we have marker number 2, I think. Let's see what we find. Here's a marker number 2. This is a California juniper, Juniperus californica. Looks like a little cypress. See that's little super tiny leaves here. They help with reducing evaporation and transpiration. And this guy will give you a little nut. He's edible. You can grind them up in the morteros. See if I find a little goat nut. Well, he's a little blue nut. And this guy doesn't have one, but he does have a little something here coming in. See that little piece of a nut? All right. Here's a nut coming in. See that guy right there? He's a nut, but he's not ripe. He's got to be blue. Here we go. See this little nut right there? That guy in there? You'd eat those. You'd also make a gin, like a juniper gin out of that. Right? California juniper. Juniperus californica. We got to find marker number 3 up the trail. This guy here doesn't have a marker, but he's Mormon tea from the genus Ephedra, like epinephrine or norepinephrine. You can make a little tea out of the leaves and helps with your headache from grinding too much of the seeds in the morteros. Gives you a headache. Little beaver tail cactus here. They're edible. Just be careful for the little glaucids, tiny little spines at the base of the areoles. You can't see them, but they're there. They get you. And once you get them in your skin, it's like really hard to get them out. This big open area. Wow. So we got space number 3, little marker. Little creosote bush here. There's a cholla. This one's either a gander's cholla or a wolf's cholla. He's a Slendropuntia. I'm not sure about this guy. But up here we have our teddy bear jumping cholla. Right, this is Slendropuntia bigelovii, or Bigelow's cholla. Look at that, it's got little flowers coming in. They'll make little fruits. Super, super spiny. Very fuzzy. You want to kind of hug him like a little teddy bear. So he grows out of this central trunk, and as he grows, the segments or the stems will fall off on the ground here like this. Or if you brush by them, they'll get stuck on your clothes. If you're a coyote or a kit fox, they get stuck to the fur, and they carry it around the desert and move this plant around. So he falls off, and you get this beautiful, beautiful bloom of segments and stems up here. These beautiful little, super sharp spines here. Look at that. So they got to be good enough to stick to you, but not too barbed enough where they won't fall off your fur. But if you step on this guy like this, see? He just like attaches, it's like super glue, right? Look at that. Anyway, so you get them on your boots and things and your clothes. Make sure you get it all off before you go back to your campsite. Otherwise, you'll be spreading this guy like in your tent. And they come off pretty easily. A lot of times you get little tiny barbs in there, right? Anyway, That's our jumping teddy bear cactus. Whew. Another creosote, of course. Up to marker number 4. See what's in store. Here's number 4. So I guess number 4 is our creosote bush, Laria tridentata. Right? Our little medicine cabinet for the Native Americans. And down here, check this out. That is called a creosote gall, caused by a creosote midge. It'll kind of burrow in the stems here of our creosote, and then the creosote makes a little kind of callus or blister around it to kind of fend off that little midge or his larvae or whatever he's doing in there. And it kind of makes this little blister pouch that falls off later on. Right? He's got little puffy pappus-like seeds that'll blow away. Wow. And these guys, the way they propagate, they'll send out rhizomes and grow up a new tree, and a rhizome and a new tree and a new tree. And in the process, it makes a big creosote ring. So essentially all these are related as one plant here. See that? And in the middle might have been the mother plant, who then made these other plants. And these little rings can get like 10,000 years old. This whole plant, not this guy here, but out in Yuma you find they're a lot larger. Or number 4 might be this guy here. I don't think so. This is a checker fiddleneck, right? He's Amsinkia tessellata, but he's just good for looking at. See that? Little pretty yellow flowers, very fuzzy. But I think number 4 is our creosote, Laria tridentata. Hey, so behind the rocks of our little site, we got a little mortero. Check it out. So you put your little seeds or nuts or whatever you want inside this hole, and you get a nice thick stick from one of our trees, our brushes, and you just kind of grind them up in there. And it takes a long time, but they don't have televisions or things back then, so I guess you just have a lot of time to do that. It takes a lot of work. Hey, we have more morteros here. Look at that. There's little grinding holes. It's always filled with water. That's pretty cool. These guys up here, we're gonna have lunch on this rock. I'll climb up there and show you the view. What we're gonna do here, we got more morteros up here. It's kind of windy. Nothing up here. And no sheep. No borregos. Big horde sheep, but maybe we'll find some. Right here, we're gonna take a little break. Look at that. Big hillside, all full of jumping teddy bear cacti. Wow, look at that. Check out this big rock. It's like a giant monolith. Wow. Split here, like that, split over there. These guys are really cool. This plant here is called false mustard. He's a eulobis. He's not a real mustard or brassicaceae. We call him false mustard. Kind of has a little mustard looking flower there. But he's a good guy up here, he's not a weed. So we just finished our peanut butter and jelly on tortillas with some beef jerky. That was good. I don't know if the trail runs back this way or if it's a little wash, but we could not find number 5. So we're gonna head back this way. And
The hedgehog.
oh, we got a hedgehog cacti out there. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, a lot of our teddy bear cacti up here. We're gonna head this way to the pictographs. See some more cool stuff. Well, here we have number 8, and I don't really know. There's nothing really here, so we're gonna continue to number 9. Maybe, if we're lucky. Look at this. Here's another look at the morteros over here where we had lunch. That big monolith rock up here. So we're back on the trail to the pictographs. We couldn't find number 9 up here in the morteros, so I think 7, 8, 9. That's why you can't find number 9, 789. Hey, this guy here, he's a desert trumpet, Eriogonum inflatum, also called a alien desert trumpet. He's got this rosetta leaves on the bottom, sends out this long green stalk here. These pretty little branched out flowers. They're so tiny, you can barely see them. So later on, he'll get a big puffy bottle stopper kind of look to him. He's called a desert trumpet. There he goes. Eriogonum inflatum. So he's related to our California buckwheat, Eriogonum fasciculatum, and the cliff buckwheat. So out here are the morteros out this way, and this road here is kind of an in and out little road. It's all dirt. You can drive it. It's pretty easy to drive it out here. Just have some clearance on your vehicle. And up here around the bend here, about a mile in, that's the pictographs we're gonna check out. And then head back this way maybe through Blair Valley Canyon, or Little Blair is out here. Heads back to Blair Valley Campground, right on that little mound there. About a half mile in from the little turn we made, get to the base of the rocks here. Look at that huge Ocotillo. Wow, the road gets a lot sandier, you could tell. So you need an all-wheel drive. They recommend a four-wheel drive. These Mojave yuccas. But I wouldn't do it in your little Honda Civic or your little sedan, because it does get really, see how sandy it's getting up here? Wow. About another half mile to our destination. Wow, this is a really long walk. Coming up this hill here, a little breezy. It's about 80 degrees out. It's really hot on the way to these pictographs up here. I think it's right around the corner. So I think up here is 4,200 feet. Might be 4,500 feet. There's a little beaver tail cactus. He's trying to make it. Another jojoba here. See how they're all gangly looking here? The higher we get, the drier it gets. All right, we made it to the top of the pictograph parking area. Our friends gave us a ride. We kind of chinched out at the end there. Big boulders. Pictographs, 1 mile out, 1 mile back. So what did they mean? Well, we'll talk about that as we go inside. Right? Called the pictographs at Blair Valley. So it's so nice up here. Look at this. This is April 2nd. Just gorgeous weather. Ocotillos and everything you want up here. All right, 1 mile in on these little trails like this and 1 mile back. Wow, check it out. Way up here, we have a desert apricot. Wow, Prunus fremontii. Look at this. It's great. Look at him. See how woody comes out, just like a big old gnarled mess down there. You know, lots of stems, lots of trunks down there. It's coming up. I think he's got a couple of little flowers. Might be able to find in the sky. So here's a little desert apricot. See little flowers on him? Little tiny guys right there. And his leaves, they're not holly-like, but you know, use your imagination. Kind of bend them around and twist them to get a little holly-like, and that would be our Prunus ilicifolia. But he doesn't grow up here. He likes to grow more along the coast. These little guys. Desert apricot. He's wonderful. Hey, this little guy here, he's a Bigelow's monkey flower. Check him out. Just grows right in the sand, in the gravel. Beautiful little purple petals, kind of fused together in a little tube down there, held together by the little bracts underneath. It's got yellow stamens sticking out. Look at that. Here. There's It's like a Bigelow's monkey flower. Wow. This guy here, oh, he's a brown-eyed evening primrose. He's the white variety. And of course, lots of creosotes, fiddlenecks, choyas, catclaw, mistletoe, Cecilia's here, the purple guys there, the caterpillar scorpion plants. All right, we're getting closer up the trail. Let's put a bird up here. There's our ambrosia damosa here, right, our burrow bush, choyas, desert tea. Here we have a jojoba. Look at this little guy. He's a pygmy gold poppy. See that? Look at that. The Schultzia minutaflora. Tiny, tiny little leaves here. Wow. Here's our first pictograph on this big old boulder. Here we got our Mormon tea, of course, and our creosote bush. It's got little seeds. We have a cat claw, Senegalia Greggii. Got little cat claws right there. See that? It's a wait a minute bush. So if you get stuck on them, you gotta say, wait a minute, I'm stuck. These are all pictographs. So the difference between a pictograph and a petroglyph. So pictographs are inks and drawings that tell a story. You get the dye like from a desert indigo, maybe some root. And a petroglyph, that's when you actually carve the rock and you carve the patina or the desert varnish from a rock, and it leaves a full embedded scar for thousands of years. So these guys, the most they hold up is maybe a couple hundred years tops, and they fade away. A lot of people say they're not real, and you do is you got to take a sample of the ink here and compare it to the natural plants out here to see if anything holds up. You could also do little scientific structures about the age of the rock and the crumbling around it. Look at that, but somehow it tells a story. This looks like a teepee. Maybe this is a water, like that, right? Maybe down here this is a sun, so maybe that means it's facing west or east, or maybe it's like a map. You know, follow this and follow over the bridge and go to the west where the sun sets and something like that. But who knows about these guys? That's a pictograph. All right, kind of windy, so check out this cool little cave. We're going to go in there, see if we can find any critters. But it's nice and cool here. Check this out. Wow. Little breeze tunnel in here. Somebody had a fire back here. Okay. There's a local guy because his little cigarette butt. See that? These caves are fantastic. Wow. And pop out the other side here. And it's kind of what you get. Our little secret cave up by the pictographs. Alright. Almost back to our little ride home. I'll tell you the story. So we're back at the beginning of the pictograph trail. Right up here. We went in and saw rock, but our ride's leaving, so we hiked like almost 8 hours today down from Blair Valley Campground up to Marshal South to the Morteros, down here to the pictographs. So luckily we've got a ride home back to the campground. We're going to sit in the back here. So I hope you liked that video. Please click like, share, subscribe, and all the rest. So we're a little beat. We're going to go back and have a little box wine with some boiled pasta, and that should be fun. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.